Hey everyone, welcome back to the Tabletop Core. This is CJ here. Today I'm going to bring you a summary battle report, but first I wanted to say thanks to everybody that's subscribed so far. If you haven't, please do. The button's just below. Today we're going to work on a summary battle report combat patrol. Myself will be playing Slaanesh Daemons. Good buddy Kevin will be playing Necrons. We're going to try this format for the first time just because it's something that's been kicking around in my head here for a bit. Kevin and I, neither of us have played very much of these armies, so we're not going to show you all of the mistakes and we'll just do a summary. Today Kevin's going to be bringing you a patrol detachment of Necrons with the Szarekhan Dynasty. For his one headquarter choice, he brought an Overlord with a Voltaic staff and the Warlord trait, the Triarch's Will. For the troops, he brought one 10-man unit of Necron Warriors, all armed with Gauss Reapers. For fast attack, one unit of 3 Canoptic Wraiths with Beamers and Claws. And then lastly, in heavy support, we have one Canoptic Doomstalker. Alright, today I'll be bringing you a patrol detachment of Slaanesh Daemons. My headquarter choice will be a Warlord of a Demon Prince. It will be armed with a Hellforged sword, upgraded to the Soul Stealer Relic, and then the Warlord trait will be the Bewitching Aura. For troops, I have 2 units. The first is 10 Demonettes, no upgrades. The second is 20 Demonettes with an Instrument of Chaos. For the elite choice, I have 1 Fiend, and for heavy support, I have an Exalted Seeker Chariot. Alright, for the mission today, we will be playing an Eternal War combat patrol out of the main rulebook. We'll be playing Incisive Attack. It does have mission-specific rules of sweep and clear, which means if you hold an objective in your command phase, you can walk off of it and still maintain it. It will be a take and hold primary objective that is progressive. So that means 5 points for 1 objective marker, 10 points for 2 objective markers, and 15 points for 3 objective markers. Does have the secondary of surgical assault. For deployment, the board is set up on opposite short ends. There are 2 objectives in the middle ground and 1 objective in each deployment zone. For secondary objectives, Kevin, playing Necrons, has chosen Thin Their Ranks, Abhor the Witch, and While We Stand We Fight, which includes his Overlord, 1 Wraith, and his Doomstalker. For Slaanesh Daemons, I have chosen the secondaries of Engage on All Fronts, Raise the Banners High, and While We Stand We Fight. That includes my Demon Prince, my Chariot, and the Fiend of Slaanesh. Alright, an overview of the table here. As you can see, we have 2 obscuring ruins in either deployment zone, some obscuring rock formations in the middle of the board, woods in either deployment zone, and then small obstacles scattered amongst the board. For deployment, Kevin set up his Canoptic Wraiths on one flank with the Doomstalker and moved across the ruins where he placed his Necron Warriors with the Overlord behind. For the Slaanesh deployment, I started with my small unit of Demonettes outside of the ruins, next followed by my large unit of Demonettes partially inside the ruin and by the back objective. My Demon Prince is hiding behind a piece of obscuring terrain, my Fiend next to it, and on the far end of the board I have my Seeker Chariot squared up against the Canoptic Wraiths. Alright, Kevin and I rolled to see who would go first. He scored higher and obviously chose the first turn. In his command phase, Kevin began his army in the command protocol of the Sudden Storm. For Necron's movement phase in turn 1, just the Wraiths went forward, moving up to the middle of the board close to the objective in no man's land and squaring up against the Chariot. Turn 1 shooting phase for Necrons, the Wraith shot at the Chariot, causing no wounds. Then the Doomstalker fired at the Chariot. I did spend 2 command points for Warp Surge to increase my invulnerable save. It did cause a couple wounds to the Chariot, and I spent a CP as well, which put me all the way down to 0 CP to reroll an armor save. At the end of the shooting phase, I believe the Chariot had 2 wounds on it. And that ended the turn for the Necrons, and scored no primary or secondary points. Turn 1 for Slaanesh. In my command phase, I regained 1 command point up to 1. In my movement, I went all the way forward with the Chariot and the Fiend towards the Necron Wraiths, and also moved my Demon Prince the same direction, following behind them to give its reroll bubble and just offer general support. The large unit of demonettes moved towards the midfield objective to capture that, while the small unit of demonettes moved back through the ruins and planted a banner on my backfield objective. Demon shooting, turn 1, I did have the whip from the chariot, didn't cause any wounds onto the wraiths. Turn 1 charge phase for the demons, I declared the fiend into the wraiths first. Kevin spent 1 command point to overwatch, dropping him down to 2. He did not kill the fiend, so the fiend successfully charged, which freed up the chariot to charge in with no overwatch. Fight phase for demons, turn 1. I spent 1 command point to activate the Aura of Acquiescence to take away 1 attack from all the fiends. I ended up wounding a fiend just a little bit and sustained some damage back on my fiend, and that ended the combat phase. For end of turn scoring, I did score 2 points for engaging on all fronts. Turn 2 for Necrons. In the command phase, Kevin regained 1 command point up to 2. For primary objectives, he did score 5 victory points for holding his backfield objective, bringing the score to 5-2 in favor of the Necrons. Movement for the Necrons, the Overlord shuffled from behind the warriors back into the ruins just for a little added protection from the approaching demonettes. And the Doomstalker did move up to support the wraiths and to gain some line of sight onto the Demon Prince, which was trying to hide behind some obscuring ruins. Shooting phase for the Necrons, Overlord fired into the large unit of demonettes, killing 4 of them. The Doomstalker then zeroed in on the Demon Prince with all of its weapon, causing the Demon Prince to suffer 1 wound. Kevin did have to re-roll just to cause that extra wound. Moving on to Necron's fight phase, the demons did get to strike first because they have an ability that allows them to do so army-wide. I served in with the Fiend first, causing no injuries. Next, I went in with the Chariot. I did end up killing 1 Wraith, and Kevin did fail his reanimation roll there. The Wraiths then struck back, causing enough damage to kill the Fiend on this turn. That ended turn 2 for the Necrons. Turn 2 for Slaanesh Daemons. In the command phase, I did gain a command point. I also picked up 10 primary points for holding 2 objectives, along with 1 banner point. Movement phase for demons, I moved forward with the large unit of demonettes towards the Necron Warriors. Behind them, the smaller unit of demonettes moved forward and planted a banner on the midfield objective. The Demon Prince did clear the obstacle to support some combat with the Wraiths. Slaanesh Psychic phase, the Demon Prince cast Delightful Agonies on himself just to give that feel no pain roll. I had no shooting and moved on to the charge phase. In the charge phase, the Demon Prince charged the Wraiths, and the large unit of demonettes charged into the Necron Warriors. In the fight phase, the Demon Prince was able to kill another Wraith, and in the Warrior and Demonette fight, we ended up killing 5 Warriors and having 4 Demonettes killed in response. That triggered a morale test for the Demonettes, which ended up costing me 5 total Demonettes. At this point, I was engaging in all 4 table quarters, which gave me 3 points for engage on all fronts at the end of the turn. That ended turn 2 for the Slaanesh army. Turn 3 for the Necrons command phase, Kevin regained 1 command point. He also activated his command protocol of the Undying Legions. He did score 5 primary points, bringing the score to 10-16 in favor of the demons. Movement phase for the Necrons. The Warriors fell back out of combat and screened the Overlord. The Doomstalker also moved back from its current position to take a little bit of cover behind the ruins. In the Necron shooting phase, the Overlord and the Doomstalker took aim at the large unit of demonettes, causing several casualties there. There were no charges for the Necrons. We moved straight on to the fight phase. The Demon Prince was able to kill the last Wraith, and that ended the combat phase and the turn for the Necrons. Turn 3 for Slaanesh Daemons. In the command phase, I regained the command point. I also scored 15 primary objective points plus 2 more for the banners. In the movement phase, the small unit of demonettes moved off the objective and took cover behind the obscuring piece of terrain in the middle of the board. Just felt there's no reason to allow them to continue to get shot, as I held the objective anyways. The Demon Prince moved into the ruins to attempt a charge against the Overlord, while the chariot moved around the back of the ruins, looking down at the Doomstalker. What was left of the large unit of Demonettes shuffled around the side of the Warriors and took position there. In the Psychic phase, the Demon Prince cast Smite, closest target being the Doomstalker, and did 2 damage there. Shooting phase was uneventful, as the chariot didn't cause any damage to the Doomstalker. Charge phase for the demons. I took what was left of the large unit of Demonettes and charged into what was left of Kevin's Warriors. The chariot charged into the Doomstalker. Kevin did spend a command point to Overwatch. The Demon Prince did successfully charge into the Overlord. In the fight phase, the Demon Prince and the Overlord exchanged some blows. The demons versus the Warriors, I ended up killing 3 Necron Warriors and lost 1 demon. At the end of turn, I scored 2 points for engaging on all fronts. I believe the turn ended at a score of 10-36 in favor of the demons. Turn 4 for the Necrons. In the command phase, Kevin regained a command point. He also scored 5 for his primary objective. For his command protocol, he activated the Conquering Tyrant. In the movement phase, the Doomstalker fell back with the command protocol. The Overlord also fell back out of combat, screening itself behind what was remaining of the Necron Warriors. Necron shooting phase saw a couple more Demonettes get blown off the board and causing no other injuries. That ended the turn for the Necrons. There was no additional scoring and no fighting to take place. Turn 4 for the demons, I did score 15 points for the primary, plus 2 more points for banners. Regained that 1 CP as usual. In the movement phase, the chariot continued down the short edge of the board through Kevin's deployment zone, tracking down the Doomstalker. What was left of the small unit of Demonettes moved around towards the objective in the back of Kevin's deployment zone. The Demon Prince then moved out of the ruins just to follow the Overlord and get a charge off there. Psychic phase for demons, the Demon Prince cast Smite successfully, causing 2 wounds onto the Overlord. In the shooting phase, I caused no damage to the Doomstalker from the whips on the chariot. The Demon Prince elected to charge the Overlord. Kevin did spend the command point to Overwatch, and the chariot charged into the Doomstalker. All those charges were successful, and we moved on to the fight phase. The Demon Prince fought the Lord first. I did have to spend a CP for a wound reroll and ended up killing the Overlord. The chariot and the Doomstalker bounced off each other, as it had been all game long. In the turn scoring, I did score an additional 2 points for engaging on all fronts. Turn 5 is more of a summary, as there was not very many Necron units left on the board. Kevin regained his command point, triggered the Undying Legion command protocol. He did shoot the Doomstalker's rapid-fire weapons into the chariot, not doing any damage. The Warriors were killed in the combat phase by the Demon Prince. On my turn, I regained my command point, scored some more primary and banner points. I had no shooting. The Demon Prince did smite the Doomstalker, causing 2 wounds, and did charge. I was unable to bring down the Doomstalker in the fight phase, and that ended the game. End of turn scoring, the Necrons ended up 22 points plus 10 for Painted, which would bring them to 32. Demons scored 73 points plus 10 for Painted, would bring them to 83. Alright everyone, that's the end of the game. Slaanesh Daemons ended up winning decisively. We both learned a lot here in this short combat patrol mission. We learned that the demons are very powerful with their invulnerable saves, plus their ability just to put a lot of bodies on the board. The demons always fight first ability in the combat phase is very strong as well. We did find the Necrons command protocols to be helpful. Unfortunately, Kevin had a lot of multi-wound models, which made reanimation protocols worse. I did want to thank everybody for tuning in, watching our summary battle report, plus all the other combat patrol videos we've done so far. If there's anything we can do better, please comment, send us a message, hit us up on social media. All that's linked below. Let us know what we're doing right, let us know what we're doing wrong, or what you'd like to see in the future. If you like these summary reports or combat patrols in general, just shoot us your feedback. If you want to see larger games, that's something we're considering on down the line. And we're looking into playing some Crusades. But like I said, just send us a message, leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you for the next one.